China's occupation of islands in the South China Sea has sparked protests from some of its neighbors. Secretary of State Kerry's visit to Beijing comes just days after U.S. officials said the Pentagon is considering sending naval vessels and planes to the South China Sea to assert freedom of navigation. That prompted a quick response from China's foreign ministry. It said the move would be considered provocative. Beijing's takeover of tiny islands claimed by several countries could have military dimensions that would be destabilizing for the region, says Assistant Defense Secretary David Scheer, who testified before a Senate panel.
These types of actions could prompt other regional governments to strengthen their own military capabilities at their outposts, increasing the risk of miscalculations, crisis, and arms races.
Kerry's visit to South Korea comes just days after North Korea rattled its neighbors by saying it had test-fired a ballistic missile. The test prompted some U.S. lawmakers to criticize President Barack Obama, saying he has been unresponsive to a growing threat.
This launch is the latest confirmation of Pyongyang's growing nuclear and ballistic missile capabilities, while the Obama administration seems to have fallen asleep at the switch with regard to our policy to deter the growing North Korea threat.
Six-party talks on North Korea's nuclear program stalled in 2008. World powers are not very willing right now to reopen the talks, says Korean studies analyst Catherine Moon.
I think people are burned out. I think the six-party mechanism itself needs to be seriously reconsidered.
But she says it is unlikely that North Korea would intentionally use its weapons recklessly.
They are not a crazy regime, as many people assume they are or like to believe they are. It's quite rational and practical in terms of strategically, tactically using resources to grow areas of their military and the economy that they deem essential to the regime's survival.
Moon says North Korea has been, in her words, upping the ante in terms of what kind of diplomatic negotiations would be required to work with Pyongyang and the costs that other parties would have to incur to get the country to reduce its nuclear capacity. Pam Dockins, VOA News, the State Department.